Welcome to the Rewards Master Live Extra. And reason I'm calling it that is because generally I do my lives on Sunday afternoon. Generally, I do my lives on Sunday afternoon, and I'm still planning to continue with that general pattern. But today, I kind of did this for a special reason because, and I may repeat it in the future if it turns out to be all right. But the reason to do that is because I have an upload schedule of what I try to provide for people who watch this channel. And that is, I upload about 4 videos a week, and then I do a live on Sunday. But my videos aren't all the same. So, like on Mondays and on Saturdays, they're generally credit card videos. On Wednesdays, there's something kind of credit card adjacent. So it might have something to do with great redemptions, or it might have something to do with budgeting, or just money management, or something, like I said, that's credit card adjacent. But on Fridays, I typically will publish something that is more related to travel. So I'll do a business class review of a business class product. The last couple we've done are like Qatar, and we did Condor, and we did Etihad. And sometimes I'll do a review of a different lounge. I probably got, I don't know, 15 lounge reviews or so on our channel. So that's what I typically do on Fridays. Well, this week, I didn't have anything in the hopper. I didn't have anything built up to talk about as far as lounges, or to talk about as far as flights or reviews or anything like that. So I thought, well, I guess I can do a live, and I can discuss some of that, just what's on the top of my head, and also answer questions, and then maybe get to a few more topics as well. So if you're here, put a little something in the comments so that I know that you're here. I appreciate everybody being here. We got about between 10 and 12 as far as I can tell on here. So good to have everybody here. Let's see, what do we got over here? Larry73 is a channel member. Thank you for your support, Larry73. Hello, Bob, and everyone here. Yep, good to have you here, Larry. Great to have you here. Thank you for being a channel member and your support of the channel. All right, let's see. Got about 10 watching. Not as many as we usually do, but like I said, this is a different time than we usually get to. So I guess before we get any comments or questions that come in, I will go ahead and dive into a few of the things that are on the top of my head that I thought we could discuss a little bit tonight. I want to keep it relatively brief, within an hour, because I know at 6 o'clock Sledge from Sledge Inc. team is going to be having a live, and I don't want to. I would prefer not to impose on anybody else's time, since this is just kind of an add-on for me. All right, Sleepy Rod's here. Sleepy Rod is also a channel member, great supporter of the channel. Great to have you here, Sleepy Rod. Ask the question, you applying for the Globe card? Well, that is the first topic I had that I thought I'd discuss. And as I mentioned, I don't know if you were here before, but this is kind of an add-on, because I usually post some kind of travel review video on Fridays. I just don't have anything in the hopper to do right now until we travel again. So I just thought, well, it'd be kind of a good thing to throw on like a live extra. So that's what I'm doing. But as far as the Globe card goes, I think I am actually. And that's what I was going to review, because in last week's live, we had just heard about the Globe card. And I honestly, it took me by surprise, because Citi will do that to you on a Sunday. And my Sundays are busy. So I hadn't caught it, but just about an hour before our live session that I always have on Sunday afternoons at 3 o'clock Central Time, I heard, I'm trying to remember whose video I was listening to, but I heard somebody's live or video and they mentioned it. And so I looked it up real quick. And on first glance, it really looked to me like a horrific credit card. And you know this if you saw that I did a video on it this week, but it looked horrifically bad. I mean, I thought the splurge credit, $100, $350, and it's $100 splurge credit that is very limited, much more so than the Strata Elite card. And then on top of that, it gave that $100 for in-flight credit. I mean, in-flight credit. So what am I supposed to just buy snack boxes and cheese trays with that $100? I mean, what is that for? And then it also gives this companion certificate, which means that it's really trying to be a near carbon copy of the Delta Platinum card. But when it comes to all this stuff, because it's companion certificate, Delta gives an absolutely free when you just pay taxes and fees. This one's $99 and you pay taxes and fees. So it's not even as good. So it just looks like a bad copy. It just looks like a really bad copy of the Delta Platinum card. But when I looked at it closer, I'm starting to change my mind. In fact, I'm thinking that this Globe card might be one of my, I know this is going to be crazy because I called it. That mean, it's funny because a few people watched my video on this and they didn't watch all the way to the end. And they're like, well, isn't that bad? And they're all defensive. And I'm like, did you watch it to the end? Because at the end, I turned it totally around. Because yes, at first glance, it looks awful. But I'm a status flyer with American Airlines. I have been a status flyer with American for several years. And as a status card, as a card that gives you the ability to spend or to use it to accelerate your status, I think it might be the best card on the market from any airline in any system. It's awesome. I mean, because, and I'm going to clarify this. If it works as it's printed, as it's written in the terms and conditions, it is awesome because it doesn't say, and it's so funny because in all the videos that I've seen, except the frequent miler guys, because those guys are very precise, and Greg found it. He broke it down, but I'd seen it before too because I went through all the terms and conditions, and it does not say per 4 flights you get 5,000 loyalty points. It says per 4 segments. 4 segments. That if you fly out of a non-hub and you fly through a hub to another non-hub, then you're most likely getting 2 segments each way. So that's only 3 round-trip flights for 15,000 because you get 5,000 loyalty points for every 4 segments. Now, it could be that they misprinted that. They didn't really mean that. They're going to make it 12 full flights. Okay, then it's not so good. But if it's as printed, if it's as stated now, and a segment to American means what a segment has always meant to everybody, then that's amazing. You have this card, you just do 3 paid round trips, which a lot of us who consult or work or get reimbursed for work travel, whatever, like I do. I mean, I probably have 8-10 flights like that a year. It's just free. 15,000 loyalty points just for free. And then, the rest of it's just gravy. You get the companion certificate. That's worth the $350 right there, even close to it if you pull off the $99. But then you do get those other little credits, whatever. So, yeah, I can't right now because I'm still working on my big American Express business platinum bonus. But Sleepy Rod, I think I kind of have to get it. I mean, because it's just, for me, it's a no-brainer. It's just, I thought it was going to be the worst card, and now I think, at least for heavy status AA people, I think if you're not heavy into AA and you're not chasing status, I just don't think it's a good get. I don't think it's a good get. But for people who are, especially if you pair it with my other card, which is the executive card, because it gives you 2 10,000 point boosts towards your status. Yeah, I think I'm going to get it. Are you considering it? Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about it. Let's see who's all's in here. We got 19 in here. That's pretty good for just kind of a throw together one on a night that we don't normally do it. So yeah, that's great. Okay, who's the next comment here? Hello, sir. Listening while at work, and that's from Abalanda 9002. Good to have you here. Thank you. I'm glad you're listening at work. Hope you still get some work done. So, all right. Juan Garcia. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. Bob and everyone. All right. I think he means me, Bop, but that's Bop is my name with kids in the family. So that's what I go by now. So Bop. Cesar Joel. Hello, everyone. Looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks, my friend. Getting you to show me all around Puerto Rico and everybody else. So that'll be great. Juan Garcia. Cesar says hello. Cesar Joel says hello to Juan. Yurisbu is here, often here. In-flight credit. Was it possible to buy duty-free stuff on an international flight? I don't know, but that's really interesting. I mean, that's really interesting because sometimes, that's a better deal. I've seen it be a pretty good deal. So I will have to look into that and get back to you maybe on a future live. So let's think about that because that might be very useful. I think the reason that exists, that in-flight credit, they're trying to have something to move the Aviator Silver people over to. And that my wife has the Aviator Silver. I don't think she's going to need this card though, because she's not a status flyer. So I think we'll probably downgrade that, or probably if they'll let us product change it, which I'm hoping they're going to let the Aviator cards product change to just regular city cards. Don't know for sure, but if they do, we will. If not, we'll probably just cancel her Aviator Silver, or maybe change it into the no annual fee American card for the time being. I don't know what we'll do with that, but that this card would be right for me as a status flyer, but I don't think it'd be right for her. Okay, Matthew Smith, channel member, good to have you here. Hi, got to pop in and out shortly. Appreciate you. Any advice on business class flights to Scotland? Planning to go November 26th. Just started looking. I'm okay going anywhere in Europe and taking train or a short flight. Well, Matthew, let me say, it wasn't long ago. I think maybe like 4 months ago, I do for channel members, and you are a channel member, so you'll have access to this. I do at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. I do special business class redemption videos for all my channel members, and I let y'all choose where to go and when to go. So I put up little polls in the post section of my YouTube channel just for channel members, and you guys choose where to go, when to go, and I do videos on good redemptions. And I just did one recently on Edinburgh. So check that out. And I can't remember right off the top of my head what the best deals were on that, but I know that I found some pretty good stuff, but it wasn't really British Airways. If you're going to look at the two big British carriers, Virgin tends to have almost as high taxes and fees, although not quite as high, but sometimes you can get some really smoking. We flew premium economy to London for 10,000 points. I mean, it was unbelievable. And so I know I found some Virgin stuff there, and I found some other things as well. So you might check back to that video. It's a members only video to Edinburgh. So check that out. Hope that at least is helpful. But thank you for being here, Matthew, even though you got to pop in and out. Have AA and Chase Ultimate Rewards, but open to anything. Chasing subs. Yeah, well, I mean, that's if you're playing this game right, you're open to anything. So that's good. Yeah, but check out that video and make a comment on it if you want to ask a question further, and we can discuss it. Juan Garcia is here. Good to have you here. The AA Globe makes sense if you're a frequent flyer and chasing status. Also, lounge access is the difference versus Delta Platinum. That's right. That's a good point. AA, I think there's really three things that make the AA card better, although I think that the Delta Platinum card is a very, very, very strong card. Okay. And I mean, I've always said that Delta has some of the strongest airline cards in the game. And the worst, hands down, are United's lineup. In fact, I'm kind of storyboarding a video right now where I'm going to compare all three at each level. Because now that they have this Globe card, AA has 4 cards. Delta has 4 cards. And United has 4 cards, and they're all about the same, right? They're all either no annual fee, that 95 to 150 annual fee, that 300 to 350 annual fee, and that 600 plus annual fee. Well, with American, it's 595, but still. And so I thought I'm kind of storyboarding a video right now of how to compare those. And I think that overall, I mean, United's just going to be the worst. And it's because of the way United thinks. They don't really want to give you the power to be a card person and a United person. They want you to be a United person who uses their card some. I mean, they want you to fly more and all that. But Delta has some awesome cards. And I think that the Reserve is one of the most amazing cards for frequent Delta flyers. And I think that the Platinum is. And the Platinum beats the Globe card all over town on some things, like the credits. Its credits are good. I mean, the Delta card, you get a rideshare credit, right? The Delta card, you get a Delta Stays credit, and you get a Resi credit. Maybe you don't get a ride share. I don't remember, but you get a Resi credit for sure. You get a Delta Stays credit for sure. Those are easier to use. They just are. Than this in-flight credit. That one's not great. And then, the splurge credit that doesn't include all the splurge things from the Elite. That's not great either. But even though Delta's better on that, this Globe card has got the Platinum card from American Express. The Delta Platinum beat in some ways too. And oh, by the way, the Delta card also has the much better companion certificate. But this card, you're right, it gives some airline lounge access. It gives those 4 passes, which that card used to be, you could at least pay to get into Delta lounges. You can't anymore. So it's got that on it for sure. But the other thing it has is it gives much better status because, you get to spend with all American cards, you get to spend, and every dollar is also a loyalty point. So every dollar you spend is also a loyalty point. So that's really good. And this card, that 15,000 potential easy to get extra loyalty points, way better than getting one medallion qualifying dollar for every $20 you spend, like it is on the Delta Platinum card. So to me, and then the other one is that I don't know how to say this, but Delta, I suppose, would have the advantage of having a better airline. I mean, I think we could argue it's a better airline, better product. But American can say, yeah, but our points, we're playing in quarters and you're playing in nickels. What I mean by that is that if you say, yes, but with your Delta card, you're getting 100,000 point sign-up bonus. Yeah, but they're worth nickels. With an American card, you're getting a 90,000 point sign-up bonus that are worth quarters because American points are worth that much more than Delta. Delta points just aren't. I mean, it's a different currency. I mean, it's like pesos and dollars. It's like nickels and quarters. It's way different. So, yeah, I think it really does make sense if you're an AA flyer. And yes, you're right. The lounge access is one of several things. I think it has an advantage, although the Delta Platinum has some advantages too. All right. C. Durs, a channel member. Good to have you here. Thank you for your support. Good day, sir. Working on both Biz Platinum and Biz Gold subs, 450,000 membership reward points, and just the subs. I mean, if I could high five you through the screen, here, let's just do that. That is awesome. I've done those. I'm working on an upgrade to the Business Platinum right now, and I've done 2 Business Golds this year. But man, your spend has got to be crazy because I'm going to guess. Tell me if I'm right. You got to spend $15,000 in 3 months on that gold, and you got to spend $20,000 in 3 months on that platinum. So you have a $35,000 required spend to get all those points on those 2 cards in 3 months. Am I right? We'll see. But still, congrats. That's awesome. Sleepy Rod says, I'm going hard on the Atmos status, but I was finally approved for a city card. So I might switch once I see how the 2 compare. All right. Congratulations and welcome to the City Club. Welcome to the City Club, Sleepy Rod. That's great. Gentleman Explorer, good to have you here. Also channel member. Liking the Roman military hat. Thank you. Got that in Rome earlier this year. I did a tour, led a group of people, friends and things, people from church and stuff, led them on a tour of Rome because, I kind of know a lot about that stuff being a professor. And so I took them on a tour. We did the Forum. We did the Vatican. We did the Colosseum. We did the Pantheon, of course, Spanish Steps, Trevi Fountain, all that kind of good stuff. So it was a blast. We've been there before, of course, but we loved it. Okay. Euris Booth says Delta Platinum has $10 monthly ride share credit. Okay. I was right. Domestic only, learned the hard way. Yeah. You know what I did with that on my Delta Reserve is I just put it in my Lyft account every month. But Lyft doesn't work internationally either. So I would let it build up because I'm hoping Lyft credits don't expire because I can't see anywhere on there that they do. But, I had to buy $25 to get the $10 back because that's the minimum you can do. But it's worked for me. But I'm not going to have my Delta Reserve for very much longer. So won't be a problem. It's just, I'm having to accept that it's just not working. So Yuri Spoo, agree. Delta miles points are like Argentinian pesos. They are. I mean, and that's why it's so hilarious to me because we'll hear people compare, well, here's this United card and it's got this many, and United points are getting that way kind of too. I mean, if you care about business and then first class international travel, 88,000 points is kind of a lot. I mean, it's kind of a lot. And so that's getting that way too. Not quite as bad as Delta. And then they'll compare the three. And nobody talks about the point that the reality that Delta could offer 150,000 point sign-up bonus and 50,000 Alaska points on an Alaska card would be worth as much or more. I mean, it would. Or, I mean, if Bilt had a 50,000 point sign-up bonus, that would be worth like 200,000 Delta miles. I mean, it'd be worth more than that. And that's one thing that in this hobby, people just ignore, especially with the trend of, and the craze of, well, cent per point doesn't matter. Well, it's a metric to be able to determine value. And, I want value. So that's why I'm always going to think it matters. So yeah, I agree. Argentinian pesos. That's a pretty good way to say it. Gentleman Explorer, you're correct on the spend. I thought I was. Taxes, tuition, and some fun stuff mixed in there. Yep. Yeah, tax season. I pay some quarterlies myself. So it's like that helps out on the spend for sure. Filmo's World, the biggest problem with the Globe card is the flying AA part. Okay, yeah. I know some people would feel that way. I haven't had too much grief from them, but I know some people really, really despise them. So, all right, Sleepy Rod. I don't always see Delta miles as pesos, at least for economy travel. For business travel, yeah, it's garbage. Yeah, I mean, if you want to go business class, it's so bad. I mean, I have heard that you can get decent deals like if you start from Mexico City, and then go to Europe or go to Asia or whatever. But who wants to go to that trouble when you can find Air Canada 70,000 point business class flights? I mean, why go to the trouble? So yeah, you're right though. When I ran recently, you remember on live recently, I did my own evaluations, point values, and Delta came out better than I thought they would. They were like over 1.6 cents per point much of the time on domestic travel. So they can be okay on domestic travel. However, they're 1.6 cents per point based upon their price, and they are a little more expensive. So I don't know. When you figure all that together, it might not be a better deal. But I will say, I don't despise Delta. I like their product. I like their flight attendants. I like their seats. I mean, they're a good airline. Their points are they're just nickels. They're not quarters, Gentleman Explorer, if AA and Atmos were devalued beyond practical use, where would you focus your setup and subs? Well, probably American Express. I mean, to be truthful, because American Express is just going to keep giving me subs, I think. I mean, I do end up in pop-up jail, but y'all are big time credit card people too. So tell me if I'm wrong. This is just kind of anecdotal. You observe it. But the thing I've found out about American Express, even if you're in pop-up jail, that doesn't seem to really impact your business card applications. I mean, they just want me to have more business cards all the time. So I don't know. I think I would probably just be punching that out. As far as like my dining spend and stuff, I'd probably still use my City Prestige card just because they do have other partners. I can transfer those points to Air France and get pretty good redemptions. I can transfer them to Virgin and get pretty good redemptions. So I probably wouldn't probably change my spending habits all that much. It would just change my focus as far as if I had the choice. I pretty much now always want AA or Alaska points, but I would be more open to, looking at some of the others, and I have them all, but like for instance, Capital One, I don't ever think about earning Capital One miles. But in that case, if AA and Alaska were devalued, then maybe my Capital One would be a better way to go, like for general spend and stuff. I don't know. It's when you consider all of that, the what ifs really kind of make you have to totally retool on everything, which is of course difficult to know what you would do or what I would do in those situations. Matthew Smith, channel member, good to have you here. Filmo, it's all about perspective. If you flew Frontier or Allegiant before, going to AA ain't bad. I don't want to get too spoiled. Yeah, you don't want that. You're right. Compared to Spirit or Ryanair, anybody ever flown any Ryanair? I mean, that's an experience right there. But yeah, Spirit, Frontier, Ryanair, all those budget, EasyJet. You ever been on that one before? I mean, these are all just not good. And so American. Nona was just on a business trip and she flew United. She usually flies American, flew United. Man, she had a terrible time. She flew to Chicago and this was hilarious. So she calls me and she says, okay, where's the lounge for me to go to in Chicago? I said, baby, you're in Chicago. I mean, that's like the lounge desert of lounge deserts. And she says, yeah, but I got the new black card, the elite card. I said, are you flying on American? No, I'm on United. It had better times for my work. I'm like, ooh, well, so I pulled up on Loungepedia on my phone and I said, well, there is a priority pass in the international terminal. She didn't end up going to the international terminal and she had a 3-hour delay. Yeah. She's like, you're supposed to have me lounge access. And I'm like, I did, but you're supposed to be flying AA and then you'd be sitting and enjoying yourself in the AA lounge. So that was funny, but it's just a Chicago story. I mean, that's just the way it always goes. So yeah. Filmo, my biggest problem with AA is the 35-minute layovers that have my fat out of shape self sprinting through Charlotte. Okay. Yeah. They do some of those 35-minute layovers. Yeah. I mean, and with their on-time percentage, that is not a good deal. So we can hobble through the airport together, man. I'm right there with you. True Filmo, Matthew Smith, channel member, says, True Filmo had to run to catch the train at DFW a couple times. Hate it when connection to it is another terminal. Yeah. And Matthew says, I'm too fat for that. Now, you guys need better body positivity, right? Body image positivity. That's what you guys need. All right. Chad's Money Minute says, yo, hey, Chad, good to have you here. If you haven't checked out Chad's channel, he's one of the kind of mentors in this credit card points and miles community, one of the great creators. So check that out. All right, so let's see how many we have on here. We had 25 watching. If you're new, please hit the like and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. As I mentioned last time, we have another channel that Nona's trying to do called Away Again Travels. You can check that out as well. But I want to please encourage you to like and subscribe to get more people. I'm doing this. This is different. It's Friday night. I'm still going to do my Sunday afternoons all the time. I called this Rewards Master Live Extra because my typical upload schedule is on Fridays is the day I upload a travel video. So, like a business class review, or I'll upload a lounge review, but I just don't have any in the hopper right now. So I thought, well, what would be something I could do? And I thought, well, I'll just do a live and just get some comments and thoughts and just talk about some things together. So, Matthew Smith, Chad, you out of jail? I'm hoping he means pop-up jail. I hope that's what that means. All right. Okay, so before we get to any of that, I already talked about the Globe card. Yes, I'm probably going to get the Globe card. I think it is a terrible, rotten card for a lot of people, but it is equally awesome and incredible for status flyers with American Airlines. It's just a free 15,000 loyalty points if you fly on paid. If you fly for business and you get reimbursed on American Airlines, it is like a free 15,000 loyalty points. That's what it is. And you get a companion certificate and you get whatever other credits or whatever. So it won't be a spender. It'll just be for that purpose, but it'll be very good for me at least. So that was one of the things I wanted to discuss. And so since that we're doing, I don't really, and like I said, I'm going to try to keep this short enough, about another 25, 30 minutes or so, because I don't want to lap into Sledge's time. I know he had one scheduled for 6 o'clock tonight, Central Time. So we'll try to be respectful of that. But the other thing I wanted to discuss, since I'm not doing a travel video this week, because I didn't have any kind of backed up to produce and put out, is I want to talk about business class redemptions and products a little bit. So as you know, if you watch the channel, Nona and I, that's what we love the credit card hobby for, is we get to travel, and we could travel anyway. I mean, we can afford to budget to travel. So our travel style, very different than someone like Dugras and maybe some other folks who don't have flexible schedules, who can't fly when they find the deals. I mean, that's what we do too. We fly when we find the deals, where we find the deals, and that's how we get the deals. And it causes us to be able to fly in an upgraded fashion in a way that we would not be able to afford. Even though we could go on the trip, we'd be going on the trip in economy, we'd be staying in a Fairfield Inn. But because of points and miles, we can go on the trip in Q Suites or in Qatar at the front of the plane, or Emirates or Etihad or whatever, and we can stay at the Conrad or the Waldorf Astoria or the Ritz-Carlton. So that's kind of our approach to it. And so we have found that you get pretty spoiled. I mean, we found some great tickets, and we just went for one day to Disney Paris this year. And that was maybe 6 months ago. And she had always wanted to go to Disney Paris. We went, we flew over, we landed, we stayed the night, we went a full day, and the next day we flew back. I mean, it was crazy, crazy trip. But I didn't find business class seats. Just for this little crazy trip, I found premium economy seats. So we flew over, and I've done videos on reviews on those. We flew over on Virgin Atlantic premium economy, 10,000 points, great deal. Flew back on Air France premium economy, 35,000 points each, I think. Still a pretty good deal. But it was like, after flying business class on all of our long hauls, it's like, ugh. And I'm telling y'all, I'm really going to feel it, because next year I have to go to like Korea for work, to do some consulting and teaching over there. And it's just economy. Now, because of my status, I can get like main cabin extra and exit row and all that. So I'll be a little more comfortable, but I just am like, so I'm looking for any way I can to use my miles or to use some money to upgrade at my own cost, whatever, because it's like, oh, you just get so spoiled. Am I the only one, or do y'all get spoiled? I mean, you get so spoiled, but how do you evaluate what's the quality of that kind of experience? And I think the first thing that has to be stated is that no matter what, if you're flying in the front of the plane, it's better than any experience in the back of the plane. Now, what I mean by that is the worst business class we've ever flown, which is the old British Airways. It's not good for business class, but it's better than any long-haul economy flight we've ever flown. And I think it's still probably better than the next cabin that we've ever flown. And we've flown a few premium economies. But that has to be said, is this is a very first world issue. When we do a review, or when you watch Green Grass, or when you watch let's see, who is some of the other ones that do lots of reviews. Oh, there's that couple that they Daily Drop, right? When they do their reviews, or Nonstop Dan, or all of this. I mean, when you're doing these international flights and you're reviewing these products, you got to kind of keep in mind this is a first world problem, because it's just such a privilege and so awesome to be up here and to be able to fly like this. The vast majority of people I know, and it's wild because people I know that have very high income and who have beautiful houses, big, nice houses, drive very expensive cars, have never flown business or first class internationally, and have never even dreamed of it and don't even think about it when they book flights. They just don't. It's it's just a privilege, you know? It's just a privilege. So I think that has to be kept in mind first. But then when you're evaluating, what makes this good or not? To me, the most important thing above it all, and I know others are going to disagree. Somebody's going to comment, and that's okay. I mean, I respect this. But to me, it's the deal. To me, it's the cents per point value because that's the kind of person I am. I'm the kind of guy who likes a coupon. I'm the kind of guy who likes to make a steal on something. I'm the kind of guy, that's what I like. And it's just makes it so awesome and exciting that I'm flying this. That's why, it's not my favorite flight, but I love that we flew Iberia for 34,000 points. Not the best business flight we've flown, but the best deal. 34,000 points in business class back to the States. And so to me, that's the first thing. The second thing is more than the seat. I'm going to look at the food. I don't know. There's just something about the food and the beverages and just that ambiance. When we flew Turkish, that was amazing. Just the service in that. And I think the service is wrapped in there too. And then after that would be the seat, because one of our favorite business class flights had the worst seat. I mean, that we had that old Turkish business class that were just two side to side pointing straight forward, where the TV is like a million miles away from your face. But the other stuff, the service and the seat, the deal, we got that for 45,000 points each to Europe. Just all of that, it was an incredible experience. So those are things that I look for in business class when I'm evaluating those. But I think it's important that we realize it. I mean, to even evaluate it is a first world problem, because it's just, we're privileged to be able to be up there. I try to keep humble about that, because honestly, if it weren't for points and miles, I wouldn't even know what it's like, because I would never have paid $5,000 for a one-way flight. I wouldn't do it. So it's just a privilege to be up there. So those are some of my thoughts. Let me go back to comments. Let's see who we have in here today. We still got about 30 folks watching. Let's see, about 15 have hit the like button. So please hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's see, where did we get to? Going back to the body shaming comments. We'll try to stay away from those. All right. So they asked Chad if he was out of jail. Chad said, no, LOL, Matthew, I'm out. And he's laughing about it. He's out. Okay, good. I'm an international flight elitist 100%. Yep, we're right there, Chad. Love the hat, by the way. Thank you. Got it in Rome. Got it in Rome when I led a tour there earlier this year. Okay, let's see. Well, I hit the right button. Here we go. Filmo's World. I got to fly Southwest in January. I might be too bougie. Oh, man. Southwest. We got family members that love them. They just think it's the best thing ever. And I'm like, you don't get to pick. Well, now they're changing it all. But before, I'm like, yeah, you get free bags, but you could just get a credit card and get free bags. You don't get to pick your seat in advance. And if you don't log in, and they're like crazy about at exactly midnight, they're going to be up so they can log in and get their seat, get what group they get to board on. So good luck with that, Filmo. Let me know how it goes. Chad says, CPP rules. It's literally the reason any of us do this or get started in it. Yep. Cent per point. It's like, it is, we talk about it not mattering, because what we want to do is we want people to still enjoy their points and miles. We don't want to be so obsessed about it that you don't have fun in it, but it is the game part of it. It's the gamification of this game is how much can I game it? How much can I get those cents per point? That's right. Sleepy Rod. I have a business class Iberia flight from Mexico to Madrid. What should I expect? You should expect a business class experience that's mid-level. If you've flown business class on other airlines, it is not Etihad. It is not Qatar. Those are ones that we've flown better. It's not Turkish. But it's about like, honestly, I thought it was almost a direct parallel to United Polaris. Now, lounge may be different, of course, but I think it's almost exactly like United Polaris. The seat felt the same, the service felt the same, and even the food was comparable. So it's not the best service in the world, but it's not as bad as people make it out to be. At least our circumstance wasn't. The food was decent, and the seat was pretty good. It made a great bed and had good in-flight entertainment system and all of that. So I would fly Iberia all day, every day. It wouldn't bother me at all. It was a good experience. And so we just did a ranking of our business class experiences. That video I did that a couple weeks ago. And I think Iberia was right smack dab in the middle. So that's what I would expect you could expect. So Happy Tom, good to have you here. Happy Tom, thanks for joining us. Relatively new to your channel, but really enjoying the content. Thank you. I appreciate it very, very much. New people is what helps us grow. So I appreciate it very, very much. Filmo's World. If it's anywhere near 4 hours, Filmo is up front with gin and tonic. Okay. Yeah. You're up there enjoying yourself. And I don't blame you. I'm kind of the same way. I don't know. I do make some 5 hour for work. Sometimes I'm just not willing to pay myself because work won't do it. So I would have to pay myself. So sometimes I'll fly a 5 hour cross country flight, and do that in the main cabin extra. And that's not too bad. So because I'm always going to be able to get like the exit row, which sometimes is, especially if you don't got somebody next to you, the exit row is just about as good in main cabin extra as being up front. So it's really not that bad. All right, let's see how many we've got in here right now. About 30 watching, 18 have hit the like button. Please hit the like and subscribe button. If you do any kind of super chat, super stickers, those things help as well. But just anything to help the algorithm just helps more people, like Happy Tom just said, find the channel and be able to be introduced to the content. Appreciate that very, very much. All right. One more thing I had on my list to talk about was I wanted to talk a little bit about Chase. So I think some people maybe misperceive me from my zealousness in defending Citi. And, I'm very positive on other ecosystems, and I have pretty much all of them except Wells Fargo. I love Bilt. I love it. I think it's the most valuable transferable currency point there is. Capital One. I was the biggest fan you could imagine of them before they changed this lounge thing. I'm just still bitter at them. I just haven't forgiven them yet. But I've decided I'm not getting rid of my Capital One Ventrex card. It's still an incredible card. I mean, it really is. I hate to say that, but it really is. But I'm just still fuming at them about that. But Capital One, excuse me, it's a good ecosystem. And American Express, if you haven't noticed, I get more American Express cards than anything else because they are just the points parade. I love it. And I love some of their cards. The Hilton Aspire is my favorite card I have. And I've told you, the Delta Reserve card is my favorite. I love that thing. But I'm not going to be flying Delta, so I can't keep it. But I love that. I think it's an amazing card. Amazing. I've seen people put that thing in the D tier. And I'm like, how on earth, how would you do that? That card is so easy to get your value from. So I love American Express cards, but when it comes to the reason that I sometimes get irritated at some of these others, I think is just because I want to see a level-headed, even tier, even keel, if you will, evaluation across the board. That's who I am. I'm a math-minded person who is trying to look at what's my actual value. And it seems like there's so much fan love for some of these ecosystems that people can't step back and say, okay, I like some things about this. I like some things, but this isn't as good and this isn't as good. And it's just like almost like I'm team this and I'm team this and I'm team this. And I don't want to be Team City. Let me be very clear. I know people think I am, but here's the deal. If American devalues tomorrow, that can all change because I'm team me, right? And I'm team you about getting the best value. And I just see the only reason, oh, by the way, the only reason I'm not spinning on Built like a crazy madman is their cards just aren't as good as Cities. But Alaska, that is an amazing transfer partner too. And if Built had better earnings and sign-up bonuses and all that, man, I'd be there. And so I think sometimes people perceive I don't like Chase. I've been with Chase a long time. I had the Sapphire Reserve when it first came out, and I was a big fan. And I'm probably responsible for 10 of my friends who now have the Sapphire Reserve. I think Chase. I think Hyatt. Now, I honestly, I'm gonna be straight here. I don't get as crazy about Hyatt as other people because I do think they're the best hotel chain. But I don't use my points for hotels. I mean, I don't see how anybody does when you got cards that give $300 credit, hotel credit, $600 FHR, $500 edit. I mean, how much are people spending on hotels that they can use all those credits and still need points to buy hotel rooms? I mean, I don't know, but that's kind of where I'm at. So I do like the Hyatt thing, but it's you get 2 cents per point. Yeah. But with flights, I can get 6 cents per point or 8 cents per point. So I'm much more geared towards getting value on flights with my points. I think Chase has some pretty decent points, but I think Chase just doesn't care about their customers as much because I think Chase just thinks that you're going to be their customer no matter what. That's why they don't really give you anything and change anything. And then I think that they've been very effective in their gimmicks like 524. So when it comes to that, I think they have got a great product. And I think they've got but I think they are making some bad moves. And that's what I had on my notes. I think Chase is real close to losing their crown. I mean, they, as I say, when I go out to eat, the most cards I see in people's hands when they're paying, because, we're credit card people. We notice that. I see it all the time. Chase. Sapphires, everybody's got a Sapphire everywhere. And I'm just not sure that's going to be the case in the future. I mean, this reserve card, American Express, they pulled out a steel gauntlet and slapped the House of Diamond across the face. And wow, it knocked the House of Diamond down. And they're not, and that's evident because they immediately changed the edit credit. You can use it back to back. They immediately went and added that extra $250 credit for IHG or whatever, their specified hotels, whatever they are. The problem is that I think it's evident because of this. Look at some of their like co-branded cards, like the United cards. The United cards are really ridiculous. I mean, look at the credits. And this is not to insult United people. If United is your airline, okay. But those cards those credits, JSX. I mean, I understand United invested in JSX. They own a little piece of JSX. But it's just the weirdest thing ever that you're gonna give a semi-private flight credit to somebody who wants a $95 or $150 annual fee card. I mean, what's the deal with that? So, it's just really, really strange, all of that to me. And I think that's the direction they're going. So now they're trying to do their own pop-up jail. Now they're not having consistent rules. I think somebody who's a penny pincher at the top of Chase is saying, we're changing all of this up. Maybe the same person that's running Southwest Airlines. I don't know. Because they're Chase is kind of operating like the Southwest Airlines of the credit card world. Just changing everything they've been. Not really concerned about the loyal customers they've had. Trying to get quick customers from somebody else. And that is biting them. It is biting them. And that's just my view of it. Tell me if I'm wrong, though. I'd love to know. All right. Let's see who we have. All right. Getting back to comments. Jared P. Bostic. Good to have you here, Jared. says, very specific lounge question. Does anyone know of U.S. credit cards other than Amex Platinum that have access to non-Priority Pass lounge networks outside the U.S., e.g. those that would accept Dragon Pass, Visa, Airport Companion? I don't know. I haven't really looked into Dragon Pass. I do know that like the American Airlines Executive Card gives access to 100 lounges, including American partner lounges. And so those are going to be some extra lounges outside the US that are not just American lounges. So there are some that have extra features like that. But I couldn't tell you on the Dragon Pass because usually those are offered on cards that are issued in other nations. So we wouldn't even know or be able to get them. Sleepy Rod, did you transfer any Capital One miles to Japan Airlines? Japan Airlines is Japanese version of American Airlines, in my opinion. Sweet redemptions. No, I haven't, and it might be expired now. I didn't look into it when I should have, but I'm hoping that Capital One will really make a strong move and make that a one-to-one transfer permanently. Bilt clearly can do it, so maybe they will, because I haven't dug into that deeply, but I've been told exactly what you're saying, and that's that could be good. Matthew Smith, $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Matthew. That helps me so much. Helps support the channel. He's a channel member. I appreciate that very much. What was your favorite redemption of all time? Doesn't have to be best cent per point. Okay. Favorite redemption of all time. It doesn't have to be best cent per point. Let me think. Probably that recent Etihad that we did. I don't know. It was really elegant. The lounge experience was terrible leaving out of Boston. Just warning you about that. But I don't know. We have never had service on an airplane like that. We had like I think he was just for Nona and I. I mean, she was kind of across the aisle from me. And this guy, he was from Slovakia, I think. He was like the best I've ever seen. I mean, he had, I don't know how, it was like almost like telepathy or something, but he knew when to come and ask for, if you wanted this, to meet every need, but he knew when not to do that, to not bother you. So I don't know how. He was just the greatest, and just the elegance and just the experience. It was pretty amazing. And then along with that, the Conrad Abu Dhabi, it wasn't a redemption though. We just paid for it. It was $158 a night, the Conrad. And with our diamond status, we got elevated to the 51st floor. I think that was the same floor. It was right about the same level where in Fast and Furious 7, they jumped the car from one tower to the other. I mean, the Etihad Tower is unbelievable. And then, wow, when the breakfast that came with the diamond status, that was the finest breakfast we ever had. And then they didn't have a lounge, so they gave us a free happy hour thing with all this food. It was a full buffet at night. So we got our meals all free while we were there. And it was $158 a night, so $300 for 2 nights that we stayed. And I still used my Hilton Resort credit, $200. So we paid $100 for 2 nights in a 2-room suite on the 51st floor. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I know that doesn't count as a redemption, but I threw that in as a bonus. Just that whole trip. We flew there in Etihad. We drove the black lane, by the way. So that made it great too. So starting in Boston, Etihad, amazing. Get off the plane. There's the black lane driver. That cost me $6, by the way, because I got the $100 credit. It was $106. The black lane driver, and he, had on our name on there. We got our bags. He carried our bags to the car. He loaded them in. I mean, he drove us to the Etihad Towers. It was unbelievable. So yeah, that Matthew, good question. That's kind of what came to my mind, at least. Manuel Jimenez. I just got my second Hilton card, on my way to having 2 Aspire cards. That's my goal too. So we're going to get our second one. I'm waiting because I want to time up our certificates, right? I want the free night certificates to line up within a week or two of each other. So we're waiting to apply for the next one, but that's coming for us too. I think it's a great move. Great move. Mike Newland says, hey, good to have you, Mike. He's often here. Great supporter of the credit card YouTube community. Gentleman Explorer, channel member, great, commented already today. Wife and I each have Surpass and Aspire. We put 15,000 on each Surpass annually, 4 free night certificates annually, and Surpass multipliers equal about another 2 nights. Yeah, I'm trying to decide, and Gentleman Explorer, maybe you can help me, but I'm trying to decide if I want to go the Surpass route or just go straight to the Aspire route. I see benefits of both, but I'm kind of thinking Aspire because I don't know that I want to burn on my spend on that I can be using for the other sign up bonuses. So, and if I get a Surpasses, I'm going to spend 15,000 on each of those cards. So I don't know. Give me some of your input on that. I'd love to know what's the best way to do it. Filmos World, Chase could change their whole image with a 2x catch-all and 3x grocery multiplier. Yeah. I mean, what's the deal? And then I'm sorry, but I'm so over rotating category cards, and they're still being sometimes talked about, but I think a lot of people are cooling on rotating category cards. I'm telling you, the City Custom Cash was the beginning of the end for Freedom Flexes and Discover It's and all that. So I think so. But yeah, 2x catch-all, 3x grocery, that would make a big difference. Law gives a $3.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. Law's awesome here, often here on our live streams. Great to have you back. Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate it. James V5802, channel member, gives a wave. Good to see you, James. Good to have you here. YouTube Experiment, the AA Reward Master. Hey. Hello. Good to see you. Good to have you, YouTube Experiment. Filmos World, don't forget gas and EV for 3X with Chase. Yeah, I mean, they've got just some major deficiencies, and it's like they know it, and they just are not going to deal with it. Because, like, well, they won't leave us because we're Chase. You know, it's like, I don't know. That just seems to be the attitude. Maybe I miss it. YouTube Experiment just clarifies with. All right, let me go back and see who we've got here. I got 28 watching. We've gone 56 minutes, 18 likes. So please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for those super chats and super stickers. Law, $3.99. I appreciate that very much. Matthew Smith, $4.99. That's really, really helpful. Appreciate y'all very, very much. And like I said, I think I just got a notification that that Sledge Inc.'s team is about to start with his live stream. And like I said, since I'm just throwing something extra on here because I didn't have my regular content to publish today, which is on Fridays, I do content that's all about, either reviews of airlines or reviews of hotels or reviews of different lounges. Since I didn't have any of that in the hopper, then I just thought I'd do a little bit of a live, and I might do that periodically. And then, of course, I'll always keep my lives on Sunday afternoon. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, everybody who supported me tonight. And just what a great community. I look at other communities on YouTube and in social media in general, and there's so many trolls and negativity and all that, and we just don't have that. It's just, I feel really, really blessed and humbled to be a part and to have so many great people. So good to have you all here. Thank you for being here, and we will see you here next time.